All right, so I'm going to be going over some information about the college football season and how to approach these games because there's a very, even if you just want to follow along and just listen to the information and you're not a sports bettor, but the college football season is about to start in about 15 to 20 days. And let me just start out by saying the first 2 to 3 weeks in college football, the lines on these games are very, very soft, okay? Very weak by the line makers because of the fact that the public isn't getting involved yet, okay? And the reason for that is because the public likes to look at how a team is performing on TV before they put their money on it, okay? A lot of public, that's their tendencies. A lot of them like to do that, okay? They don't put in the research as much as these professional bettors. Okay, so they like to look, okay, is this USC team looking very hot this week? If they look hot, they're gonna go ahead and put their money on them the following week. Okay, that's how the public reacts to these games, and that's how you get these percentages and so forth. Okay, so that is why the first 2 to 3 weeks the lines are very soft. Okay, now going into the rigged aspect of it, okay, that's a totally different topic, okay, when we're talking about rigged in general, okay, and let me tell you that not every single one of these games are rigged, okay, there's many games, on this board, and they're not going to be rigged, guys, okay. It takes a lot to rig a game, and for starters, if you want to call them controlled or rigged, okay, once you start getting teams like Alabama play Ohio State, where there's going to get tons of action on it, where there's going to be a big audience, okay, then we can go in to start talking about these games being rigged, okay? But for the most part, these games aren't being rigged unless, the college itself is doing something shady that we don't know about. But if you want to go ahead and correlate them to Vegas, like, for instance, these small teams right here, you cannot say that these games are rigged, okay? Because they're not working with Vegas to rig these games. The games that are being rigged are the high market teams, okay? These teams that are, very low market teams, they're not being rigged unless they're rigged by their own college, okay? And that's a totally separate case, okay? So we just don't know that. Now, the way you approach these games, okay, the first 2 to 3 weeks, because like I mentioned, the lines are very soft, you want to look at strong defenses, okay? Strong defenses with a lot of seniors returning, okay? Because you still got to put the work in. You can't just say, oh, there's a lot of money on this team, okay, so I'm going to take the other side. No, you still got to put the research in, and then it all comes together like a puzzle. Okay, so strong defensive teams, the first 2 to 3 weeks, you can get a lot of value by betting on these type of teams and staying away from the offensive-minded teams because they overvalue the offensive-minded teams coming in. Okay, not a lot of people like to look at defense going into a season. A lot of people like to be excited with offense, okay? That is why a lot of these teams that had high hopes with offense, it takes them a while. It takes them like the 4th week for them to adjust with their offensive scheme, okay? And they don't perform until then. So, like I said, defensive teams, it's a lot easier to teach defense than offense, so I'd stick with defensive teams, and that's how you get a lot of value. Like, for example, this is not a video to give out picks or anything. It's an informative video. Just, this could go a long way with your handicapping or however you pick your games, but just for an example, throwing it out there, North Carolina State, okay? North Carolina State has a strong defensive team, okay? They're a strong defensive team. They're returning a lot of starters this year, okay? So just right off the bat, this is a very strong team right here. This line went from 4.5 to 6.5. So what that's telling me is that a lot of professional bettors are taking North Carolina State. And the reason I know this is because of the fact that who in their right mind in the public's eyes is going to bet 15 to 20 days before the actual college football season starts, okay? So that's one reason, okay? The next reason is it's because it's North Carolina State. I don't consider North Carolina State a high market team, okay? So that's the second reason why the public wouldn't be involved in such a game like this, okay? So, you know, this line moving from 4.5 to 6.5 already, this is professional money being bet on North Carolina State. I'm not saying it's going to win. I'm not saying, you know, that it's going to come through. I'm just telling you what I see. But if you follow this strategy, you know, more often than not, you will win if you just use a little bit of common sense. And you still got to put the research in. You still got to analyze these teams. And then, like I said, it all comes together like a puzzle when you're looking at the percentages on the other side. Okay, so I hope this video was informative. I'll be putting out some more videos like this because of the college football season coming up. So comment, rate, and subscribe. Thanks for watching my videos and sharing my videos, and I'll see you then.